everybody, just got a quick little video here on how to upgrade an app to Rails 7.1 beta, in case you forgot or have never done it before. So I've got an old app here, Beginner Bounties, just to show you what version I'm on. It's on Rails 7.43, and we're going to upgrade that to the beta. So let's just fire that up, show you what it is right now. And you can see it's 7.43 there. And there we go. So how do you upgrade to the latest version? So the first thing you should probably do in all cases like this is create a new branch. So we're going to do that. Oh, if I could spell. Let's see. 7.1 beta, sure. We're not going to keep this one, so it's okay. So we're on a new branch. Now we can do whatever we want, change things. And the first thing you should probably do, I'm using VS Code here. If you go down to the gem file, you'll see two things, what we're about to do, but also as a quick tip, you can also use this new way of specifying the version of Ruby, just as a general tip. This will go to the Ruby version file, which is here, and specify your Ruby version. That way you don't have to upgrade it in two places all the time. Small tip. And then here, we're going to just, in the gem file, this is the easiest way to do it. Put the beta version, and then we're just go back here and we're going to run bundle. Bundle and bundle install are the same thing. One's just easier to type and faster. So once this is done, we'll have the beta installed and we'll upgrade our app. And for that, we'll use the Rails app upgrade command, update command, sorry, which will ask you if you want to overwrite or keep them files. For now, it's a small project. I'm just going to quickly YOLO it, I guess, and overwrite everything. Normally, you might want to take a little more time with this. And something that can help you out is a site called railsdiff.org, where you can type the version. This is the version I was previously on, and the beta, and it's going to show you all the files, configuration files, that have changed, so you can see what you might have to change or do. If I scroll down here to the config database YAML file, you'll see that in production, there is a new folder here, storage, for the SQLite database. This is because coming probably this fall or pretty soon, you're going to start to see a lot of people talking about using SQLite in production. And this goes back to a little bit last year. And so the DB directory should only be for configuration only, not data. And because SQLite's a single file, we can move it in the storage folder so it persists. Thought that was interesting and one little nice little update. Also, we've got in here an idea of the, that's okay, I'll edit this out. If you need to change things, if you're using VS Code, you can go up here to the source control tab and you'll see the list of the files that have changed, and it gives you a nice little view of the old on the left and the new on the right. This is the live file. Any changes you make here are being saved. Whenever you're doing an upgrade, if you had something that you added and you want to move it into the new file and you're like, ooh, actually I want to keep that, you can just copy and paste it from there over to here, or just make direct changes here for anything you want to do, and it's going to save the one on the right. And I thought another nice tip was if you ever had something like an old gem or something, for example in your gem file, that you thought, oh, I got to keep that one because there's an issue. There was a nice tip by Matt Swanson about just adding a little comment to yourself in your gem file and just bring that over to the changes. So, you know, pinned this version of, in his case, he said pry because of an issue on GitHub. Thought that was a nice tip as well. All right, so once you've got all your changes ready, you can, of course, commit them and keep going. Once you've installed the beta, though, you'll notice on your system that you're going to have the beta. So new apps are going to use the beta. If you want to create an app with an older version, you can use the underscore technique here. Whoa. You can use that version to install an older version of Rails if you want to. But we're not going to keep the beta for now, so we're going to clean this up a little bit. we're on a different branch. So in this case, I'm just going to add all those files at once. Normally, you'd probably want to do git add -p to add each hunk separately. That's a little kind of better way to do it, but in this case, I'm just adding everything all at once. Then we're going to commit everything. In this case, I'm deleting everything, so keep that simple. And then we are going to delete this branch. And I'll clear that out for you. And this is the big D flag for that one. And so that is gone. Poof, we are done. And then the last step here, if you want to get rid of it, is to uninstall. And bam, we are back, good to go. So you'll see we no longer have the beta in our system. So that's just a way to quickly test it, try things out, and if you're not happy, get rid of it. And that's it, yeah. Hope you like that quick tip, and catch you later. Oh, hey, Future Kent here, popping in. I might run into something that I did. Maybe you should be just going back and forth a lot, uninstalling, reinstalling. If after uninstalling the gem, you notice, hey, how come it keeps doing the old version? It might be because it didn't uninstall the rail ties. So for example, if I look here, it's going to show that, and as of today, one day later, it's RC1, not beta. It didn't remove the rail ties. So you can also take that out if that's giving you problems. Like this, it's probably best to use the quotes, even though I didn't before. A little safer. Not super necessary if you're if you have no spaces, but I guess it's a little safer. So that will take it out in case you ever run into weird problems, you see bundle errors. And one other thing I ran into was my gemlock file, for some reason, did not update properly. If that's still showing the old beta or RC1, you can just delete the lock file, of course, and when you rerun bundle, it'll recreate it properly. So hopefully that if you run into weird stuff, that'll help you out. And that's it. See ya.